So, this is a good deal. So I came here from a concussion that I got attacked in Koln over 6 months ago.
Yeah, I know. I see the shot. Yeah.
Great. So, to cut a long story short, because I've been here 7 times trying to resolve this, I came to emergency with my face was black, my eye was black because I got hit pretty bad. The doctor who was seeing me was apparently a junior doctor. I've been told, I don't know his name. And there was a German witness who witnessed the attack, and he was here with me. Once he heard I had a concussion, he seemed to find it funny and was laughing. And I said, I don't see why me getting hit in the head is funny. And he continued to say, oh, sorry, sometimes I laugh at things like this. And I turned to my friend, and he actually got to the point, my friend had to talk to him in German to say, can you stop laughing? It's not appropriate. He said, okay, so he stopped laughing. So then he said, no, nothing wrong with you, blah, blah, blah. I said, look, in North America, I was captain of ice hockey, baseball, basketball, track. I've had numerous concussions. So when I have a concussion, it's very dangerous. At that point, he then went away and talked to, I'm not sure if it was you or somebody, and said, oh, we better do an MRI. So I immediately got, I was waiting in that room for about 10 hours with my friend Sonka. Then they said, well, we're not sure if your nose is broken. Yes, you have a severe concussion, you have to stay in overnight. I said, okay. So I went upstairs, nothing was wrong. They said, we can't figure out if your nose is broken or not. I said, my nose was broken 20 years ago. Yeah, but we're not sure if it's re-broken. I said, okay. So they had me on painkillers. There was mass confusion about what had happened. Is my head injured? Is it not? What's the severity of my concussion? So this went on, and I gradually started to feel better day by day, right?
I saw it on the last day.
Right. But the problem is that on the last day I was told to wait for the doctor. So I had to wait 5 hours. Then I was told, no, you got to get out the hospital. I'm like, but I just waited 5 hours. So I left with no medication, no medical notes. The doctor didn't see me. I talked to the guy who's just below you, who said, yeah, it's been a big mix-up. We don't know what's going on. I said, I still don't feel very well. Yes, but someone else is coming in. You got to get out the hospital. So I said, the doctor who actually saw me in emergency said, it's mandatory that I talk to you because of the severity of your concussion. I never saw him again, and in that little waiting area that you have, I waited there from about 8 o'clock in the morning to 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then it was get out. The only time I actually got these medical notes was 2.5 weeks ago when I went actually physically back to the ward. So I'd been calling that ward, I've been going into that ward, I've sent emails, and I'm like, I want to know why that happened. And also with the IV drip, it was such a mess. They were willing to let me walk out with the IV drip in my arm. And I just thought, from a medical perspective, you can't laugh at a patient. I left, even last night, and this is the concerning part, when I went to emergency again, and I don't live in Koln, so I'm traveling a long distance to get here, right? The guy below you said, it was such a mix-up, the professor needs to know about this. Yesterday I was in emergency talking to another woman doctor, and I said, look, there was real confusion over whether my nose was broken or not. She said, I've looked at your notes, there's still confusion. I said, no, but my nose was broken 20 years ago. And they said, well, even though it's broken 20 years ago, we still can't tell if it's broken or not. So it's really concerning that I left the hospital without he prescribed medication that I did not get. There was 2 medicaments. He said, I need to give you this for your concussion. I left without it. I left without the medical notes. I had no idea what was going on.
Okay.
That's 6 months ago.
Basically, from medical view perspective, objectively nothing went wrong. Out from your view's perspective, the communication was bad. The two parts of it. The one is what have we done with you objectively, and what reached of our objective medical reports in the communication at yourself. Difficult to explain.
No, I know what you mean, but on the medical part, medically I should not leave a hospital without the medical notes. Medically I should not leave a hospital without the medication. And to be honest with you, because I've had so many concussions, I've actually gone, it's still a problem for me. And I'm not directly relating it to this. All I'm saying is I've had so many concussions, right, that I have a problem with headaches if I get very tired. Medically, if that doctor says, these are the 2 medicaments you need, well, hold on a second, because he did say that. These are the 2 medicaments you need. Do not leave this hospital until I talk to you because I need to give you medical advice. And none of that happened. Medically, that can't be correct.
From your position, on the day of your discharge, I visited you. I saw
in the morning, yes.
I saw asked the standard questions. You have headaches. How are you? What are you feeling?
Yeah.
And then we said, okay, we had 48 hours. We had it here as an inpatient. We had a daily report where we look at you, ask you questions. The nurses asked you that,
right,
how it is, and everything was fine. You had a CT scan, no bleeding.
That's right.
You had in this CT scan of the face, and that shows an old fracture of your nose. And furthermore, due to your gluing and the brush and the contusion of the eye, there was an eye doctor here. They visited you.
That was another thing that was totally incorrect.
Okay, then all of that, yeah, and we did our points. What was necessary if somebody has got a concussion.
That eye doctor came in on vacation, looked at me for about 30 seconds and went, your eyes are fine. Pre to that, and after I met her, I actually have medical reports from eye doctors saying this eye is badly damaged. And I've had eye medication for numerous months.
Okay,
After I saw you, and then I'll stop talking. After you left, and the guy that was my doctor, I think, was to your right-hand side, right? After you left, I told him I'm still getting bothered by headaches. That's why he specifically said, do not leave this hospital until I talk to you and I give you the medication.
This is the medication we gave you, or we probably not gave you, 2 medications, ibuprofen and pantoprazole. Pantoprazole is nothing for or against concussion, and ibuprofen is just
Yes, but I don't know what medication he was going to give me because he never turned up.
But to be honest, okay, I got your point, and I apologize for every inconvenience you have during your hospital stay here. But I can tell you that medically, there was no dangers, and you don't have an injury what we did not recognize or what we did not treat appropriate. So I apologize for all inconvenience you had during your hospital, and we still work on communication between young doctors and patients who came in. We still work on it. This is still
I've
in
come
progress.
back 7 times since.
To be honest, at the beginning of this week, I got an email from our official and I answered already the email. You got it to your Munich address. And
yeah, but the point is, I've gone to that 2nd floor numerous times.
Okay, I can.
Only to the point. Okay, so
I'm the head of the department. I just can apologize for the inconvenience you have. Now you're talking to me. We had still a talk about 10 minutes. You already. I have the letter of recommendation from 6 months ago. I had for you. I had already answered your email.
My concern is yes. Communication-wise, it was wrong. Medically, you're saying it was correct. When I've gone to concussion in Canada, medically it doesn't work like that. You don't, when you have a concussion, doctors don't tend to laugh at you. I then had to wait a long time for the MRI. The other point is, just on a medical note, if you have been prescribed medication for a broken arm, concussion or whatever, and the doctor has to give it to you and doesn't give it to you, I don't understand how you can medically say that's correct.
Okay. This is an optional medication, but to be honest...
You don't even know what he was going to prescribe me.
Pardon?
Because we spoke, after I spoke, there was 3 people in that room.
Yes.
You saw all of us. You're basically going off the notes of what that junior doctor says. You also asked me about 3 questions. We spoke again after you left, because I was due to leave, and he was the one that said, because of the severity of your situation or concussion, medically I need to talk to you again.
Okay.
I don't understand how medically that can be correct.
Okay, good. But what's your point today?
Well, my point is I want to know what happened. I want to know who the doctor is, because I'm very... If it had been dealt with properly when I came back to that, I came back 3, 4, 5 times, I've lost count, and I haven't lived in Koln for a long time. For the one below you, your right-hand man, to say your treatment was very, very bad, it needs to be addressed. He said that, not me. Because when I was in there, he's like, oh, I remember you. Has that complaint been dealt with? I said, no, that's why I'm back here. That was literally 2 weeks ago, and I said, I never got my notes, I never got this. He's like, yes, it was a very, very bad. He was the one that actually gave me this. So when I went medically around there, I had no medical notes. I said, I have no idea what happened. There was no conclusion after you came, because both you and the junior doctor wanted to talk to me. Your right-hand man was the one who came and got me and was like, you gotta get out, you gotta get out. I'm like, but I don't know what's going on. I don't medically, like, you guys told I can't leave. And so I left the hospital in a total cloud of, medically I don't know what's going on. Those two were the ones that told me to stay.
Okay.
I want to know why it happened. And
okay,
if the communication is bad...
It was a discommunication.
Sorry?
It was a discommunication between our doctors or nurses and you.
So where I'm losing you is on the medical level. If you think it's medically okay, fair enough, they did the MRI. But the thing is, I saw you for 5 minutes, right? And obviously you're referring to him based off his notes. Every time I've come back again, it's been more confusion about, yeah, he wasn't sure if your nose was broken. Yeah, we're not sure what's going on. We don't know why you didn't get the medication.
I don't know what you never had since your discharge here. You never had an official appointment in one of our outpatient clinics.
I've written emails. I've telephoned.
First, to be honest, have you phoned to our secretary?
Not the secretary,
okay.
But the hospital. I phoned the ward.
To be honest,
but I phoned the emergency, and when I phoned the emergency always tell me to go to ward 2.
Okay. This is it. I apologize for the discommunication, but we have a talk now. To be honest, I apologize for the discommunication.
I want an investigation as to what happened, really.
You want to have an investigation? What happened, really?
Well, I'm getting the impression you just think it's a non-event.
No, I told you that this discommunication, and we still work on the progress, and we'll have another talk.
That's irrelevant to me if you work on the progress. Clearly you haven't, because that was 6 months ago, and I've had to come back to the hospital 7 times. How is it improving? I'm now not even, I've got to travel again. So if you're saying communication improved, and those guys are saying it, why is it I'm here 7 months later?
Say that it has improved.
But no one has. So that's why I want an investigation. Firstly, it wasn't done properly. Secondly, I've tried my best. I've called emergency, I've gone into emergency. I've gone by the directions of what I've been told at this hospital. I've been in that room several times on the 2nd floor and been told it needs to be addressed by you. Your right-hand man said he would talk to you. Clearly he didn't, because I've spoken to him a couple of times now. Then I emailed, then I phoned. I don't see where I'm going wrong. Yesterday I said, I'm getting massive headaches just off the stress of this. It's just, I don't get it. I really don't get it. If it had been dealt with properly on the last day, for me to come in yesterday and then say, let me look at your notes, and they looked at my notes. Yeah, it was still unclear whether your nose was broken. And I'm like, why are you telling me this? Surely you should know this.
I told you that there is something wrong from your perspective in the progress of your medical history. This reached me on the beginning of this week as a consequence of your email.
Right.
I got the email, and now we are sitting here.
So what I'm asking
4 days later.
Right, so what I'm asking you, Professor, is...
To be honest, I can understand I wouldn't, if you're coming, what time did you reach yesterday here?
Yesterday was about 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
But I don't live in Cologne. I'm traveling by Deutschland.
I can understand your everything has its reasons, but that you came into a hospital and got a serious information from my doctor who is in the emergency room.
But she gave me wrong information, and to be honest with you, when she gave me her, this is showing how ridiculous it is. When she gave me